what is engineer? So I identify myself as a mindset engineer, and it is fair to ask me, what is engineering? Well, engineering is the practice of producing results using whatever knowledge is available. So we use knowledge to produce a result. As you know, some of the knowledge that we use as engineers could be theoretical science, mathematics and physics, but not always and not only theoretical science. Sometimes the knowledge has to do with experience. In manufacturing, for instance, of course there's mathematics that goes into that stuff, but a lot of it is experience. I know it works better this way because I've done it before. Experiential knowledge, right? Even anecdotal, my buddy who works at this other company told me that it works better this way. So it's not really theory or mathematics, it's anecdotal knowledge. My friend says it works better that way. I read a book many years ago when I was a student of engineering. This was back in the 80s. And this person was a racing car designer and an engine designer. And this was way before. Nowadays it's very different because we use CFD, computational fluid dynamics, and computer models to do that kind of work. But that stuff is relatively recent. It didn't exist in the 80s. And so this person, this engineer, was talking about what it takes to design a combustion chamber in a racing engine, in a racing car engine. And he says, we use intuition. That's the best tool we have. I imagine the way the flame is going to propagate, and I designed that chamber to more or less correspond to what I think should happen. And not only that, manufacturing techniques before the age of numerical computer control, CNC machines, and you could produce complex shapes and stuff, a lot of that stuff, even if you thought it should have one shape, you couldn't manufacture it in that shape, and therefore you had to balance out the way you think a part should look with what you can produce and manufacture. Well, what I'm saying to you is that engineering is the process of producing a result using whatever knowledge is available. So we tend to think, non-engineers tend to think that engineers only use mathematics and physics to produce everything, and that's of course a great deal of it. There are mathematical models and tons of physics and all of that stuff that we study and use, but other times we use intuition and lots of testing. I don't know if it should be like this or like this. Build them both and test. Oh, this one works better. There was no science involved in that. There was intuition and trial and error. When I worked in body armor during the pandemic, a lot of things were difficult to quantify mathematically. And so what I did is I built different models, and then sometimes we shot them in-house. We tested by firing bullets at them, and other times we sent it out to a lab to shoot them and test. Okay, this one went through, this one didn't go through, therefore this one is better. See, not much math there, trial and error. That's engineering. All of that stuff is engineering. We create a result, that's engineering. So I take ore, minerals, I take stuff from the earth, and we produce a functioning car, let's say, right? Everything that took place between that dirt and that car is engineering. There's a lot of engineering in mining ores, in producing metals and plastics and materials, in putting that stuff together in components and parts and systems, and manufacturing a whole car, testing. All of this stuff is engineering. So that's what that is.